Hello students, today we will see the next topic is catching exception and handling exceptions. The default exception handler provided by the Java runtime system which is generate an error message and terminate the program when an exception is occurs. By handling exceptions yourself there are two benefits. First is it allows to fix the error in the program. It fixes the errors. Then second is it prevents the program from automatically terminating. Then first is then try and catch block. First is try block. The Java try block is used to enclose the code that might throw an exception, and it must be used within the method. If an exception occurs at the particular statement of try block, the rest of the block code will not execute. So it is recommended not to keeping the code in the try block that will not throw an exception. Java try block must be followed by either catch or finally block. Here there may be other code inside the try block before and or after the risky lines. Any code that depends upon the risky code success should be in the try block, since it will be automatically skip if the exception occurs. Then syntax for try with catch. Here this is the try, then opening curly bracket, then code that may throw an exception and closing try, then catch exception class name, then a reference and opening closing bracket. Java try block is used to enclose the code that might throw an exception, and it must be used within the methods. Then syntax of try with finally block. Try code that may throw the exception, then closing try, then finally their opening and closing brackets. Then second is catch block. Java catch block is used to handle the exception by declaring the type of exception within the parameter. The declared exception must be the parent class exception, that means the exceptions or generated exception type. However, the good approach is to declare the generated type of exception. The catch block must be used after the try block only. You can use the multiple catch block with a single try block also. Here the syntax for catch block: catch exception class name, exception object name, then code using method from exception object name, then closing bracket for catch. Then third is try catch block. A method catches an exception using a combination of try and catch block. A try and catch block is placed around the code that might generate an exception. Code within a try catch block is referred to as a protected code, and the syntax of try using the try catch looks like this. Here try, then protected code, then closing try, then catch exception name, then exception object here even, then catch block starting bracket, here the catch block and the closing the catch. If you declare but don't initialize a variable before a try block, then only place you set a values of the variable is in the try block, then it is possible when executing leaves the try catch structure that variable never received a value. So you would to get a possibly uninitialized values error message from the compiler, since it is actually keep the track of that sort of things. A method catch an exception using combination of try and catch block. Here catch exception catch statement involves declaring the type of exception you are trying to catch. If an exception occurs in protected code, the code block that follows the try and check. Then here the this figure shows the internal working of Java try catch block. Here the one example, int suppose data is equal to 10 upon 0, 10 divided by 0, an object of execution class thrown, then exception object is handle. If exception is handle yes, then rest of the code is executed. If exception is not handle, that means is handle no, then JVM print out exception description, then print the stack trace, and then terminate the program. The JVM firstly check the whether exception is handle or not. Here this is a decision box is handle. Then if exception is not handled by JVM, not handle, then JVM provide a default exception handler and that perform the following task. First is print out the exception description, then print the stack trace and causes the program to terminate. But if exception is handled by the application programmer, normal flow of the application is maintained. That means the rest of the code is executed. These are the internal working of the Java try catch block. Let us see an example to handle another uncheck exception. Here class is public class try catch example, then main method. Here the try, suppose one of the example here we will take an array, then 1 3 array values is 1 3 5 and 7. Here the print out system.out.println array 10. Here we declare only 1 3 5 and 10 for number of arrays, array size. Here the only 4 values declared and initialize, but here access the array number 10. It throws the exception handling the array exception. Suppose here the catch array index out of bounds exception e and system.out.println e and system.out.println rest of the code. In this example, an array is declared with the 4 element, that means 1 3 5 and 7. Then the code tries to access the 10th element of the array, which is thrown an exception here. This is the exception thrown java.lang.array index of out of bounds exception 10 and output is rest of the code. Then displaying and error exception information. We can display the information, display the description of exception which is thrown by simply passing the exception object to the println statement. For example, catch arithmetic exception e system.out.println exception plus e. If it catches arithmetic exception, it display the following message: exception java.lang.arithmetic exception divided by 0. Then multiple catch block. A try block can be followed by one or more catch block. Each catch block must contain a different exception handler. So if you have to perform different tasks at the occurrence of the different exception, use Java multi-catch block. Then the several type of exception may arises when and executing the program. They can be handled by using the some multiple catch block for the same try block. Then when an exception is thrown, each catch statement is checked in order. The first one whose exception type matches that catch block is executed and other are bypass. Here the points to remember that at the time of only one exception occurs and at the time only one catch block is executed. Then second is all catch block must be ordered from most specific to most general. That means the catch for arithmetic exception must come before catch for exception. Then here the one of the example for multiple catch statement. Public class multiple catch block 3. Suppose this is the class name. Then public static void main string args, then try. Here one of the array int a new int 5. A of 5 is equal to 30 divided by 0 system.out.println a of 10. catch arithmetic exception E, then here the arithmetic exception occur. Then second exception is array index out of bounds exception E, then print the array index out of bounds exception occurs. Then catch exception E, parent exception occurs, and last is system.out.println rest of the code. When we run this program, then arithmetic exception occur because here the divided by 0. So this exception match the arithmetic exception occur and the rest of the code. Then nested try block. Sometimes a situation may arises when where a part of the block may causes one error and the entire block itself may cause another error. In such cases, exception handlers have to be nested. The nested block within a try block is known as the nested try block in Java. Here this is the syntax for a nested try block. Here the try, then statement first, statement second, then another try, statement first and statement second. Then here the catch, exception E, then this is the try and this is the catch, this try and catch, and first try, then here is the catch, exception E. Then throw, a throw statement is executed to indicate that an exception has occurred. The exception that you throw using the throw statement can either be standard system exception or the that are created by you. Now here the syntax for throw exception object. All exception object can be created using the new operator or simply it is a parameter into a catch clause. For throwing an exception, we have to do two things. First is create an instance of an object which is the subclass of java.lang.throwable. Then second is use the throw keyword to throw the exception. For example, throw new IO exception, file not found. After a throw statement, the nearest enclosing try block is checked to see if it has the catch statement that matches the type of exception. If it is matches, the control is transferred to the catch block, and if not matches, then the next enclosing try statement is checked, and so on. If it is not matches with any one of the specified catch clause, then the default exception handler halves the program and print stack trace. Then here one of the example, class throw demo, public static void main string args, then int x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20, then int z. Suppose z is equal to x plus y. Then try throw new arithmetic exception, then catch exception E and print exception caught, and system.out.println addition is equal to plus z. Here simple addition, x z is equal to x plus y. Here x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20, so z is equal to 30. Then when we done this program, this is the exception caught and addition is equal to 30. This is the output of this program. Then throws, the basic principle of Java exception handling mechanism is that an exception must either be handled by a method in which it is raised or passed along the call chain for another method to handle it. Suppose the method throws an exception that is neither a subclass of runtime exception nor of error. That means if it is throws a check exception, then Java requires that the method either handle it or declares it. If the method does not handle the check exception, then the method must declare it using the throw keyword. The Java throw keyword is used to declare an exception. It gives the information to the programmer that there may occur an exception, so it is better for the programmer to provide the exception handling code so that normal flow can be maintained. Here the throw clause is used in a method declaration it lists the type of exception that method might throw. The format of method declaration that includes a throw clause is as follows. First, here the type, method name, parameters, then throw exception list, and here the statements in the methods. The exception list is a list of the exception that method can throw. Here also one of the example for throws, class test throw. Here the class name throws. Static void throw 1 throws illegal access exception. System.out.println enter is throw 1, and then throw new illegal here the throws t is small, new illegal access exception testing. Then public static void main string args, then try, then system.out.println before throw 1, then here also throw 1, then catch illegal access exception e system.out.println catch e, and the end of main. When we run this program, then throw 1 before throw 1 enter in throw 1 and caught java.lang. Illegal access exception testing. In this program, throw 1 method throws the illegal access exception. Since it is the check exception, therefore it is included in the throws list of this method. Then difference between the throw and throws. Java throws keyword is used to explicitly throws an exception. Then Java throws keyword is used to declare an exception. Then throw check exception cannot be propagated using throw only, but in throws check exception can be propagated with throws. Then third is throw is followed by instance, but throws is followed by class. Throws is used within the methods. Throws is used to the signature, method signature. Then you cannot throw multiple exception, but in throws you can declare multiple exception. For example, public void method throws IO exception, SQL exception, etc. Then here example void m throw new arithmetic exception messages, then void m throw arithmetic exception method code. These are the difference between throw and throws. And the last block is finally. Java finally block is a block that is used to execute important code such as closing connection, stream, etc. Java finally block is always executed whether exception is handled or not. Java finally block follows try and catch block. Finally block in the Java can be used to put clean up code such as closing file, closing connection, etc. Here the figure shows the working of finally. Java finally block is always executed whether exception is handled or not. Here the program code, exception is occurred. If yes, then exception is handled. If exception is handled, then yes, finally block is executed, and if no, then finally block is executed. But exception here is occurred no, then this is finally code is also executed. The Java finally block is always executed whether exception is handled or not, and the Java finally block must be followed by the try or catch block. Here the example for finally. Public class test finally block 2, then public static void main string args, then try. Suppose here in data is equal to 25 divided by 0, then system.out.println data, then catch arithmetic exception e, here the system.out.println e, then finally block is always executed and rest of the code. Here the exception in thread main java.lang. Arithmetic exception divided by 0, so finally block is always executed and rest of the code.